and help make what the president has announced, his intention to make America the crypto capital of the world and have the world run on American technology.
We're taking things like SWIFT or Visa or MasterCard, and we're upgrading them into digital equivalents, which have names like Ripple or Yellow Card.
That is the biggest problem in the world, and Bitcoin can solve that, and that's going to create a lot of value. What problem is Solana or XRP solving? I don't know.
It's still in the 21-day comment period, but once that's over, we do expect to see a lot of altcoins launching probably in September, October.
Short-lasted, short-lived, and the game will continue.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags, and they want all them empty.
What's up, good glitches? Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. The dip continues. Another opportunity to add to those generational wealth bags. We got XRP currently right around $3. We got Cointelegraph to pop off latest. Coinbase says that the current market conditions signal a potential rotation into full-scale altcoin season as Bitcoin dominance falls from 65% to 59%, while altcoin market cap hits 1.4 trillion in the latest research report. We got Uphold new integration alert. US users can now fund their Uphold wallet instantly with PayPal. No need to link cards or banks. Just sign in with PayPal and go. Fast, seamless, trusted. Link in the description. Uphold, PayPal. We got Bank XRP. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says, have the world run on American technology. XRP. BTC who?
So a couple of weeks ago, the administration issued the President's Working Group's report on digital assets in the United States, and there were clear directions to the SEC. We're part of the PWG, that President's Working Group, and clear recommendations for us to go forward and help make what the President has announced, his intention to make America the crypto capital of the world and have the world run on American technology. So we're mobilizing at the SEC all our different divisions and offices to focus on making that announcement become reality. So that's with our corporation finance division, investment management, and others. We're focusing on what we can do to make the regulations of the SEC encompass the crypto assets and also make it so that people can have some clarity going forward. We're working with Congress. Obviously, the Genius Act was enacted here a few weeks ago with a big announcement at the White House by the president himself, and as he signed it. So that I thought was a very good step forward. And now there are other bills in Congress that are being considered, and when they return from their recess, I look forward to much more forward progress.
Meanwhile, it's not the Bitcoins of the world. China still owns around 46% of the Bitcoin mining pools, 51% attack. Crypto Eddie, hello Neil. Sorry to put you on the spot and bother you. We often see these documents with no source or verifiable information. Since you work at Ripple ODL, can you please make any comments on this workflow? Thank you in advance. Appreciate you. How Swift GPI taps into RippleNet and XRP through Ripple partners using HTTPS and APIs without a direct Swift to Ripple relationship. She responded and said, plausible. Technically, this flow could be implemented. I suppose a bank could send the MT103 to Ripple Payments, aka RippleNet API via the additional info field. I can't comment on specific vendor names. Don't read too much into my answer. Don't quote me in You Today. Smoke Dog, confidential institutional investor presentation. Swift is being upgraded to Ripple.
There are many use cases now, very successful investment use cases, and I won't go through these in detail other than to say very briefly that there are good reasons why a lot of value is being captured. So if you look at number one, as I already mentioned, we need infrastructure to allow for the digitalization of finance and commerce, and that's being created by companies with names like Anchorage and Fireblocks and Kraken and so on. And these are digital custodians or wallets or marketplaces, and we're investors in all of those, are ones that we show as examples here. In terms of monies and commodities and assets, the same thing is true. We're taking things like SWIFT or Visa or MasterCard, and we're upgrading them into digital equivalents, which have names like Ripple or Yellow Card. And we're digitalizing monies like the US dollar into things like Tether and Circle, and we're an investor in Tether and Circle as well. At the commodity level, we can take gold, and you can buy and sell gold physically or through derivatives like ETFs. But we are now tokenizing gold. So you can buy and sell gold over digital wallets and digital infrastructure with things like Pax Gold. So we can do it with traditional commodities. Of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum are new to the world commodities, and we were early investors in them as well. And then you can do it with any other asset. So we can actually take any asset, like the example here, a money market fund from BlackRock. We can tokenize that and make that money market fund called BIDL be available in digital infrastructure anywhere in the world, 24/7. And that's why BlackRock's so excited by the tokenization of other real-world assets.
All roads lead to the bridge. XAIF, crypto, Bitcoin maxis. Why not just use Bitcoin? Because banks don't want slow, expensive energy, heavy transfers. They want instant, cheap, scalable. That's XRP.
Decentralized protocol that nobody can control. It's not Solana. It's not Ethereum. It's not XRP. It's none of those. So that is the biggest problem in the world, and Bitcoin can solve that, and that's going to create a lot of value. What problem is Solana or XRP solving? I don't know. Nobody knows. Well, XRP says that they're going to be a way for banks to transfer money around, like a new SWIFT system. Okay. Do you regularly invest into bank software? Because I don't. How much is bank software worth? What's the total addressable market of bank software? How much are they? How much value do they create? Right? Like, and why can't they just use Bitcoin again? Right? And so I think if you understand the problem, and then you can understand a solution to the problem, and then it starts to get a little bit technical. But why is Bitcoin different than XRP or Solana? Right? And then you have to start to understand the decentralization and the size of the nodes and why decentralized
Once again, why not use Bitcoin? Because banks don't want slow, expensive energy, heavy transfers. And once again, Bitcoin's not safe. All it takes is another 5% for China to do it. 51% attack digital asset investor. Meanwhile, they love those XRPs.
Even people in the chats today, they love their tokens. You know, they love number goes up. They love everyone getting on board. They love their communities. They love XRP. People have a lot of pride in their tokens. And that's what's so fun about it. It's like, it's when you do like NFTs too, it's like you're building these communities, right? But it does get as simple as like, hey, we think you're good. Like, we think you're cool. We don't think you're bad. And it's like very base level acceptance, understanding, and participation that people really want. And it's a pretty low bar, if we're being honest, which is why it's hilarious that we had to even set this standard. Because like I was talking to Faryar before, it's like, you know, two years ago, year and a half ago, there were politicians putting out anti-crypto ads. You know, it was like such a bizarre decision with such a significant antibody reaction. Gary Gensler was a big one. You remember how people gave Donald Trump a standing ovation when he said he would fire him. So like that rallied everybody, even like the common denominator crypto voter as well.
Gary, you still there? Another one from DAI, Digital Asset Buy on X. When XRP ETF, we do expect to see a lot of altcoins launching probably in September, October.
Now, you're the CEO of the investment firm Canary Capital, and so wondering, you have all these applications now with the SEC for spot crypto ETFs tied to altcoins, including XRP and Litecoin. So I know you can't talk about these specific filings, but what do you think happens with those filings in general, with those spot crypto ETFs tied to altcoins?
Well, the SEC has been working very closely with the exchanges, NASDAQ, CBOE, New York Stock Exchange, over the last 6 months to create a generic listing standard. And that got published in the last week. So what the generic listing standard will do is give at least some standards so that you don't have to go through an entire process like we did with Bitcoin, with other cryptocurrencies. That generic listing standard largely looks at futures. And does this token have a futures market in the US or not? And that's one of the qualifications. There's several other qualifications that also apply to other commodities. But if you look at what's proposed and what's public, it's still in the 21-day comment period. But once that's over, we do expect to see a lot of altcoins launching probably in September, October.
Blockchain backer, so far yesterday's liquidation was a back test. Mustache, people think it's over, but the fun is just beginning for altcoins in my opinion. Weekly double tap pattern, USDT dominance. As soon as this breaks down to the downside, altcoins will go completely crazy. And we got Egg Rat Crypto, XRP, Macro Perspective, stay calm. Keep loading up while you still have some time. As long as XRP doesn't close the monthly candle below $2, we remain super macro bullish cycle. The formation is clear. We typically finish the last leg of each cycle as a bull flag. Measured targets are also well defined, so let's stop worrying and focus on long-term plan. You'll find yourself in a great position. $10, $16, $20, $27. Dark Defender XRP will shortly finalize the ABC correction and then continue towards targeting $10, $47. C corrections have possibilities and we scrutinize them in detail today. Targets 333, 436, 585, 1047. Supports $3, 285, 264. And with that being said, Batman bag ladies, the pullback will be short-lived, but it won't be a straight line.
I'm not at all surprised, I'll tell you, to see the pullback, and it's natural profit taking. We see that every time the markets hit an all-time high. People who have invested at lower prices are grabbing the opportunity to capture their profits. So that's not at all a surprise. It'll be short-lasted, short-lived, and the game will continue. And I do expect that Bitcoin will continue to rise to ever more all-time highs. I think that it'll end the year over 150,000. I think it'll be 500,000 by the end of the decade. But it won't be a straight line. It'll be more of hills and valleys, as is the typical approach for any new emerging asset class, and certainly germane for Bitcoin's history. So I'm very bullish about it, but it's going to be a jagged road rather than a straight line.
The gains will continue, and the longer they take, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP. Rich list, where will those bags be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open? And XRP's true price is finally revealed. I'll catch you up here on the mothership. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on the likey button. Shout out to the latest sub. We'll see you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
Staring out my window, I got the formula, stack them bags up and simple, and wait until we explode. I'll meet you at the disco, we just getting started like an intro. 589 the numbers, please, please call our bingo. We the new heroes, them trash coins you held went to